Malam Sali, who is still in the studio with us, taking a look at digitization matters. And of course, another trending matter, which has to do with a certain radio station. Now, I received an email from someone, some days, I think that was yesterday. His name is Jin from Gwags, and he says, can someone do something about this 97.6 that is a ticking time bomb in the south? We don't need this, so let's remember what happened in 94, where the Hutu Power Radio was a catalyst in what led to the genocide in Rwanda. So that was the message I received the other day. What's going on with this particular station?
Well, it's a very disturbing development because at a time when Nigeria is beginning to get its acts together in order to move forward and actually march into development, we're beginning to get these disturbing transmissions from a pirate radio station that calls itself Radio Biafra. The pirate radio station actually is doing things to create disharmony among Nigerians. It is pitching one tribe, one ethnic group against the other. It is pitching one region against the other. It is pitching one religion against the other. And it is generally creating very, very bad and evil sentiments among particularly gullible Nigerians. And what is more painful about it is that the most impressionable people who are actually getting convinced, or to say indoctrinated by this radio station are young people who don't even, they don't know what we have gone through in this country, and who too have the energy, to wreak havoc. So that is the danger, because we are seeing what is happening now. I mean, we are hearing it now, and like, the earlier caller or the earlier emailer said, that is how they started with the RTLM radio in Rwanda, and before you knew what was happening, there was a pogrom. So we don't need, to have that kind of situation now in this country.
So what is the NBC doing about it? Can the frequency be blocked? What exactly can be done?
Well, there are several issues standing.
Oh, by the way, they don't have a license, do they?
They don't. Of course they don't.
Okay, so
if they had a license, we would have withdrawn it pronto.
Okay, so what can be done about it?
Now, that's why we call them a pirate radio, and pirates normally operate outside the law. Now, what we have been able to confirm is that they are not operating from within Nigeria. Basically,
really?
Yes, the transmissions are not originating in Nigeria. But we have also been able to zero in on where they are outside this country.
Okay.
But since they are not operating within Nigeria, it will now require certain diplomatic moves, to be able to attend to it. So we are working on that. But basically, this is a security matter. This is a security issue because it involves national security. And so we are working with the security operatives in the country in order to be able to resolve this problem.
But have you been able to check whether they were registered legally to operate in the country where they are originating their signals from?
Those are some of the things. We doubt that they have been registered even in that country because the other country where they are operating from, as far as we know, is a friend of Nigeria, is a responsible country, and it has rules and regulations for broadcasting. And whatever they are doing is definitely against the rules and regulations of broadcasting, even in that country.
Yeah, but is it possible to have a pirate radio operated in Nigeria and the NBC is not aware?
It will be very difficult for them to operate without NBC knowing that it is there. I will agree with you that because of the issue of technology is, moving very quickly, and so people could probably do a few things. But whether no matter how advanced the technology they are using is, eventually NBC will be able to track them down if they are within the boundaries of Nigeria.
Yeah, because I have received phone calls from people in Nigeria, and you think they are calling you from the U.S. We have received, I know that there are some countries, some companies, they are supposed to be operating in the U.S., but they are in India.
Yes,
and people think that those calls they are emanating from Nigeria, from U.S., but they are actually from India.
Yes.
Is it not possible there may be some superior technology that you still are trying to grapple with?
Well, what you are referring to really is this business center phenomenon that has become very common in the world because of globalization, where companies operate across the globe. It's a little bit different, even though you could equate it in a particular manner. However, with broadcasting, it is not quite like that. But the issue and the most important point is that if they are transmitting from within Nigeria or retransmitting from within Nigeria, we will find them and we will get them.
So for now, there is no way of curtailing what is happening with this particular station. There's no way of stopping it.
Not there's no way.
For now.
We are working at stopping it,
okay.
yes. We are working on it.
Okay.
We are working on it, yes.
So what should the people do?
Well, it's a very worrisome thing.
Yeah.
One, people should not be carried away by propaganda. We know the facts, and we have facts at our fingertips. If you need to know about what happened, in Nigeria at any particular time, there are areas or places where you can get the real truth and not to listen to propaganda. And people should not allow themselves to be indoctrinated to romanticize, unrest and the division of this country. If anybody who loves this country looks at the situation that we are in this country, you'll find that any other unrest, the type that this radio station is romanticizing, will actually cause so much hardship and so much difficulty for Nigerians. And anybody who has already gone through the civil war period in this country would not want Nigeria to go through that kind of a situation. So we would like people, while they are listening to that, to take note of that. And secondly, if they know anybody who is involved in it, one, they should help us to warn that person to stop it, advise the person, and also to inform us so that we can work to stop it for the greater good of the nation.
In fact, someone is asking a question here. He says, what mechanism has the NBC put in place to check violation of broadcast ethics? A new radio in Abuja does. How do we report such? That's a question coming in from at Igboja Laughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as you all know, there's what we call the Nigeria Broadcasting Code, and it is what is supposed to guide the operations of broadcasters. And that guide tells them what they can do and what they cannot do. And if any station or anybody finds the output of any station to be either offensive or inappropriate, they can always report to us at the National Broadcasting Commission. They can send an email to info@nbc.gov.ng, or they can go to the NBC website, www.nbc.gov.ng, and there is a portal through which they can send in their complaint, and will be able to receive the complaint and do something about it.
At Ozonizer is still speaking. He says NBC should stop this hate preacher and from the part of Nigeria where they are planting their evil seeds, and they need to be stopped now. He says stop them now.
We are working on it. Believe me, there's nothing we would like to do better than that.
Okay, let me see. I think we still have some more Facebook messages. Samuel Kwasari says, good afternoon, Inya Ben and the guest. Your guest spoke well about digitization, but mainly about television and radio broadcasting. What is happening as regards the internet, particularly with the issue of high cost of browsing data? Who is responsible for that? Nigerians are really groaning under the self-controlled data regulation by the telecoms companies. Is the NBC responsible for that, or another arm of the government?
No, it's another arm of the government. There are several other arms of government that are responsible for telecommunications and for the internet.
And Daniel C. Cyril says, whatever comes up on the airwaves that is not acceptable, can't the NBC block it?
It depends on where it is. If it is coming from outside Nigeria, it will be very difficult to block it as such without affecting other transmissions which are also coming from outside Nigeria, which are innocent. But if it is from within Nigeria, oh yes, we can triangulate it and stop it.
Yeah, there are also complaints that the NBC is not allowing licenses for radio stations, and probably that's why people are deciding to broadcast from outside. Is this true?
That's not true. Just recently, we have issued licenses to several radio stations. About I can't remember the exact number now, but more than 20 radio stations have been issued licenses of recent, and just less than a month ago, about 17 community radio stations were also licensed in this country. So it would not be fair to say that NBC is not issuing licenses. Certainly we are issuing licenses, and it's no excuse, even if you can't get it legally, to start doing it illegally.
Is it possible to get a license in Abuja?
In Abuja, no. You can't get a license in Abuja now because the whole of the spectrum is already taken up. Unless if we are going to knock somebody off, maybe Nigeria Info. No, so we can't give anybody a new license now. However, as soon as we finish the digitization process, then digital signals are compressed, so they will create more room on the spectrum, and will then be able to give more licenses to people who want it, whether it is in Abuja or in Lagos or in Port Harcourt, which are at the moment saturated.
Well, Talk True on Twitter says, who are the companies that have invested in this digitization process, set-top boxes in Nigeria? He said there are 11 companies. Can we list them? What would you do to ensure end consumers do not get ripped off? Yeah.
Well, I don't have the list with me right now. I guess I didn't anticipate it, but there is a list, and I'm suspecting that it may even be on our website. But we do have a list, and they are all Nigerian companies duly registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission in Nigeria.
Do they have a deadline, and are they meeting it?
Well, they have a deadline, but the deadline also depends on, because you see, one of the things that we have to do, we are going to help in financing the setting up of some of the companies, because that's part of the agreement that was entered with them, so that they would invest in this country. And that is why we are waiting for funds. We can't do these things without funds from government.
Right. All right, some more questions here for you. So Isaac Agboja says, good day all. What mechanism has the NBC put in place to check the violation of broadcasting ethics? Recently, I heard a new radio station in Abuja, hard metal music with use of words on airworthy. Music played by this station are laced with swear, derogatory words, etc. I recorded the time, artist, etc., but I do not know how to report the incidents. I have since stopped listening to the radio station. Please let us know.
Thank you very much. Like I said a moment earlier, if you have any complaint about any radio station that you're not happy with, whose input is inappropriate or which you are not happy with for any reason, please send an email to info@nbc.gov.ng. info@nbc.gov.ng. Or if you go to the NBC website, National Broadcasting Commission website, www.nbc.gov.ng, there's a portal there through which you can lay your complaint and it will be attended to promptly. Then also on our website, there is a section where you can access our zonal offices and all their contact addresses. So if you are in Abuja, if you can access, you can get Abuja zone, you can get the zonal director's telephone number, and you can complain from there. Or if you are in any other zone across the country where we are in Sokoto, we are in Kano, we are in Lagos, we are in Uyo, we are in Ibadan, we are in Enugu, we are in which other one? We are in Jos. So in Maiduguri zonal office. So if you go to any of those, if you are in any of those areas, you can access our address from the address of the zonal office nearest you in that on our website, and you can complain through there.
Well, we hope that people can continue to complain. But what is the advice for radio stations, TV stations generally, before you send them the letters, before they violate it?
Benjamin, why are you getting jittery? Without being patronizing, I know that Nigeria Info has not been guilty of those things. So why are you afraid? Anyway, the normal practice between NBC and the stations is normally when they do something that is in violation of the code, depending on the severity of it, you could get a call from the zonal director, or you could get a letter telling you that you violated, and you may be asked to explain what you have done, why you have done what you did, and if you have a convincing reason, you may be let off with a slap on the wrist, a kind of small warning, or you may have to go beyond that and pay a fine. And when it gets really, really bad, like a situation where you are doing something that can lead to the immediate breakdown of law and order, that will threaten the unity, security, and peace of this country, we could take away your license.
All right. So everybody just needs to be on their toes, as it seems. Okay.
Well, indeed, broadcasting is really a very serious business.
Yeah.
And it's when people don't understand the power of this medium that they can misuse it, which is something like what the proponents of this Radio Biafra are doing. It's so unfortunate that people are trying to now create a situation where we can have bloodshed in this country when we are just at the threshold of taking off, and having peace. We've had one of the most commendable elections in this country. We've had a change. We've had a very good democratic experience. Why would anybody want to destroy it by creating trouble for Nigeria?
How about online radios? How do they operate? Because I don't know if they get licenses from the NBC as well. How does that work?
Well, the way we operate at the moment is that if you are a licensed radio station in Nigeria and you want to go online, you get a kind of permit from the National Broadcasting Commission. But if you are going to go straight online, we have also provisions for licensing internet radio from Nigeria. But if you are going to do it outside Nigeria, of course, you don't have any control over that. And you know that the regulation and control of internet access and usage is a lot different from the controls in the terrestrial arena.
Okay.
So, the rules and regulations are completely different. Internet arrangements are much more liberal, much freer than, the terrestrial arrangement.
Interesting. All right. Well, let's see. Ozonizer says something interesting. Tell your guests to retract that joke. Oh, I can't imagine Abuja without Nigeria Info. See how Ben and Inyasha from their jokes. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we do have interesting contributors. But as we end, this conversation, what's your message to everyone out there, especially as they keep listening? Well, some people might actually be listening to the words coming from these from this pirate radio station. What's your message to everyone?
Well, my message to everyone is please disregard it. Think first of Nigeria. Think first of the safety and security of this nation. Think first of how to make this country move forward and make progress, rather than allow some propaganda by some selfish individuals who don't mean us well to continue to disturb you or to cause you to do anything that could cause a breakdown of law and order.
And the NBC is doing everything possible to stop this
NBC
station.
is doing everything it can to stop this station, and I assure you, very soon you will not be hearing it again.
That's an assurance coming in from Malam Awolu, who is the Director of Public Affairs of the National Broadcasting Commission. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us today.
Thank you. It's so nice of you to give me this opportunity.
Thank you as well for being here. All right, and this is where Ben and I say goodbye. Thanks for hanging with us today.
For all of you planning pirate radio, be careful. Be careful. If we catch you.
Why are you holding the bell? You've seen bell here today. Does it remind you of the shrine?
Yes.
Is this what you people use in the shrine?
No, we use a more advanced one. This one is the analog.
I think he's trying to remind that person who won the prize to come and
Oh my goodness. Anyway, we have a word for you on Facebook, and it simply says, it's a quote actually by Kofi Annan. It says, we need to keep hope alive, and strive to do better. In July, for the rest of the year, our word for you is keep hope alive. But as you do so, do strive to do better. That's our message for you. Ben?
We'll be here again tomorrow. See you in 19 hours. Be good, be better.
Indeed. And do take care of yourselves. Keep your heads up, keep your shoulders high, and keep hope alive. Mwah.